you're not doing the work to get better at machine quilting skills like free motion or ruler quilting, or you want to get better and you don't know how, I decided that I wanted to interview some of you ladies to find out, what are you doing in your studio? How are you progressing? So that you could share your story with everyone else. So Jacqueline Black agreed to take time with me and chat and talk about her machine quilting journey. So we're going to watch her interview where she answers several questions about how she got started, what steps she took to learn free motion, how she moved from free motion to ruler quilting, and hear more about why she quilts and how her purposeful learning helped her to reach her specific goals. One, to make more quilts for her family, for her friends, for her community, and for the world. Her quilts are out in the world. So are you ready? Are you ready to learn about Jacqueline and her story behind quilting? Let me know. I'm so glad you're all here. I see Deanna is here. I'm so glad you're here. We've missed you too, Deanna. I'm so glad you're here. Aloha, Lori. So glad you're here too. And Jacqueline is here. So, ladies, as you watch the interview, Jacqueline's in the chat. Chat her up. Say hello. Say, why did you say that? Ask her questions as you listen to the interview. She has lots of practical advice to share. And there are at least 3 lessons that you can learn from her story. So I'm going to give you a quiz at the end of the interview. I'm going to give you a quiz. What were the 3 lessons? So get your notepad, get a pencil, take some notes. The interview is 45 minutes. So we're going to have a break in between. About 20 minutes in, I'm going to stop the interview, come back for station identification and for some news updates I want to share with you. So pay attention, okay? Let me see who else I need to say. Oh, So Blessed is here. Rochelle, so glad that you're here. Welcome. And Marsha is here. Thank you all for being here. And let me know in the chat, are you ready to listen to Jacqueline's interview? Marsha already said, she says she can't wait. Right? Hello, Miss Hunter is here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, she's ready to take notes, everyone. All right. Who else is here? So glad that you're here. 906 Quilting. And ladies, I know Lori is better than me at this. I will try to get better with names. I look at your YouTube name or your Facebook name, and then that's what I call you. So I apologize for that. If I do that, would you be so kind as to put your name in the chat one more time? Because that means I forgot, and I don't mean to. Okay, forgive me, please. All right, so we are ready. Is that a yes? I need a couple more yeses, right? It's a full 45-minute interview. Yes, thank you, Lori. It is exciting. Now, as you're listening to her interview, let me also suggest that you think about how do you build free motion and ruler quilting skills? How do you do that? That's part of Jacqueline's story, right? But ask yourself that question and ask, do you want more choices? Are you willing to do what Jacqueline has done to get more choices? All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Let's start at the beginning. Why did you become a quilter?
When I finally figured out how to do quilting, just putting the 3 layers together and getting it, run through the machine on a walking foot, I was in awe over the creativity. I'm like, this is so beautiful. And I went right into giving a lot of gifts, just giving them away. A lot of my quilts are on the mission field in different countries. had a lot of fun, and giving gifts to the kids, the grandkids. Everybody has loads of quilts. So it was just so enjoyable and such a fun hobby.
So, was this something that was introduced to you by a friend, or does your family quilt and sew?
Well, my daughter in law and my son came to visit, and my daughter in law brought a quilt that wasn't completed. And she said, before we leave, and they were there here for like 3 days, 3 or 4 days, she said, before we leave, I need you to help me get this done. And I just really put the brakes on. I said, you're going to have to take that home with you because I know nothing about how to quilt. And she kind of put the pressure on. And I got on YouTube and I said, well, let's see what we need to do because I have no clue. And when she left with a completed quilt, I was like, that was awesome. And I think I could do that. So that really started me on the quilting journey.
Okay, and then did you, after that, how far between that experience of saying, hey, I like this and I want to do more? Did you join a guild or what was the next step?
No, I actually worked by myself for a long time. I did find a friend who was wanting to do quilts too. So we would meet on a Saturday for a couple hours and work together on quilts. So for many years, it was just us or myself. And I decided that I was going to join a quilt guild. And this is my second year in the quilt guild. So
Okay. And how long have you been quilting now?
11 years.
11 years.
Hmm.
In that time, have you always finished your quilts yourself?
There was one quilt that I made that was queen size. I made for my bed, and I thought, I can't finish this. This is too big. I need to have a long armor do it. And when that cost me a couple $100, I was like, this is not something I can afford to do. Yeah, I'm going to have to do my own, find a way. And I mostly did walking foot. That was what I did most of the time. And then I found you on YouTube and I said, I really want to do this. Really want to branch out, want to learn more, want to learn how to set up my machine.
Okay, so you found me on YouTube because you wanted to start doing more than a walking foot quilting. You wanted to get
Correct.
into free motion.
Yes.
Okay. What was that like? A lot of ladies are afraid of free motion. I mean, how did you have fear with that? How did you overcome that fear if you had it?
Well, I'm kind of, when I make up my mind, I'm going to just go for it. I'm just going to stick to it. If I commit to a month or 2 months, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to do the best we can and go from there. What I loved about doing it with you was the class setting. It was individual. I could work at my time. Setting up the machine is so critical to learning how to do this. If you can't set up your machine, you can't even get started. So that was the first thing, and that I really needed. To me, it was like if you watch somebody play a guitar and you think you're going to sit down and play a guitar, you're not going to get very far without learning the keys or learning how to do it. And it's the same thing with anything. You have to learn how to set your machine up and just take the first steps.
It sounds like that really made an impact in terms of your success with free motion. Are you
Absolutely.
now more comfortable with your machine? You kind of know that you know what you need to do to set it up?
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Okay. And then did you venture into, because I think the alphabet course includes, a video on needles and thread. Was that helpful to have that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to know the steps.
What motivates you to keep learning? Because some just kind of coast along, but I know you're always looking to branch out.
I think it's just the excitement, learning something new, learning how to be creative. It's inspiring to me.
Let's go back a little bit to free motion quilting because it does take, concerted practice and effort. How much did you practice? Did you notice a change from when you would practice and when you didn't practice?
Absolutely. And I think before you even think you're going to start in a quilt, the practice is critical. We want to think we're going to make a quilt and sit down and finish it, but that's not going to happen without practice. One of the things that I use is the plexiglass. Lay it on top of the quilt and using the markers, the dry erase markers,
Mm-hmm.
and drawing out what I think I'd like in the design. You have to keep practicing it in order to get that motion in your mind and get the feel of it in your hands. You have to practice it. And that may include pulling up your little fabric swatches and drawing out your design before you even get started on your quilt.
Oh, you did bring some practice pieces. Let's take a look at those. Tell us about some of your practice
Well,
pieces.
these are stars and meandering or circles. So this is just learning how to do some of the free motion work. Um, and we had to start from the very beginning. So I started in the alphabet course. So this was my first learning how to do it, all the way down at the bottom. Here we go. So this was the beginning of me learning how to move the fabric and start making a design.
Very good.
And so then I kind of went from there, learning the next steps in the alphabet. And these were done in your class.
Yes, the alphabet design class. Those are amazing practice pieces. Your backtracking is very good.
Well, thank you.
Did you find that going through those exercises helped you to learn how to maneuver around the quilt?
Yeah, and I think the easiest thing to start with was those triangles, and then you can branch out into little curves. And I think it also helps when you want to blend meandering and then your stars or your snowflakes. You can blend those because you've got some curves, you've got some straight lines.
Now, some don't like to practice.
You're not going to get very far.
Not going to get very far. When did you start the alphabet course? I forget when that happened. Was
I
that
think that was about 2 years ago.
2 years ago? And you already said that once you focus on something, you're going to do the work and practice. Are
Mhm.
you quilting some of these designs in your quilts now?
Yes. This is what I call my orphan block quilt. These are blocks left over from some quilts that didn't make it in the cut. So here's some of the work.
Beautiful.
And of course, I still have straight lines. So some of these blocks are straight line. Some of them have some curves.
So mixing and matching depending upon the blocks, how you want to quilt it. You previewed
Yes.
it, I assume, with your plexi. And I did see some feathers in there.
Yeah.
Feathers are an advanced free motion technique. You took a class with me.
Yes, I did. I took the class. Once I had the hang of it, this was some of the practice of the little feathers, the little plumes. Yes.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
So that was definitely a practice before I could even get to this.
Starting with machine setup, then doing the alphabet drills, having that foundation, did that prepare you for the feather class?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sitting down and starting to practice on the feathers. I already had some of the knowledge from the other patterns and things that we were doing.
So then it wasn't intimidating because you already had that
Some of the basic
foundation.
skills. Hmm.
And in the feather class, we had a quilt called Feathered Rainbow. one of my favorite things that you've shown me that you've quilted. It you did such an amazing job with the feathered rainbow from
And
that
I think
class.
that, and I will show you that, but that came from this practice.
Oh, okay. Now this is important. Tell us, before you quilted the feathered rainbow, you have this sandwich, and you said what?
And this is practice.
Now, how did you structure the practice before going to your quilt?
I had laid this out in blocks to give me an idea of what my real piece was going to look like.
Okay. So, did you first preview it with the plexi, then go to that quilt sandwich?
Yes. And you lay out that plexi and start drawing how you're feeling it now. It's become a part of you.
And so, what directions the feathers are going to be, what kind of feather you wanted to stitch,
Hmm.
you were making those kind of decisions.
Yes. It is such a lovely piece.
Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Fantastic. And this is one of the uh, feathers that's without a spine, a spineless feather.
The
Yeah.
spineless feather. This had just really flowed. It was really, really nice.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
That practice is paying off, isn't it?
Yes, it really does. And what a great idea the plexiglass was to be able to lay that down and start drawing. You have a small marker, almost like a needle, and just start drawing what you think you want to put in that. And it's better than just sitting down and starting to run the machine and you don't know where you're going to end up. You have to have a plan.
Having
So,
a plan. And when we have a plan, it's less likely that we're going to have an evening with the seam ripper, right?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think you want to start ripping out something that you're quilting. It's just not going to be fun.
So now that you have, for several years, you've been quilting your own quilts, you started with walking foot, you're now doing a lot of free motion designs, you have a library of designs that you know you can stitch,
Yes.
and you're improving some of those. But now you are doing ruler quilting.
Yes.
What made you add that technique to your roster of things that you could use to finish a quilt?
Well, I just really love the designs. You know, I did the circle class too. What was the name of that class? It was Snowflake. Here's a couple templates.
Did you enjoy that class?
I loved it. That was a class I took. I loved it. The options are unlimited. Here's another one.
Oh, that was one of my favorite designs.
And this would look nice on a border, even the border of a quilt.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the other ones too uh have a lot of strings hanging, so you have to forgive me for that.
No worries. We always have that either on the quilt or on our person, right?
Absolutely. And this was a lot of fun.
Such a versatile template to be able to make so many different designs.
And then here's one. This is random. This is just random because once you learn how to do your template and it's structured,
Right.
it's time to get out of the structure.
Yes, exactly. So were you surprised at how many designs you could make with that one template?
Oh, it was just a lot of fun. I couldn't believe it. A lot of fun.
You have a lot of options. Have you
A lot of
used any
options.
of those designs in any quilts since taking the class?
I used the circle and then the straight line. Oh, I've done that numerous times. And mostly it works really, really well on Quilt as you go. And it's a lot of fun to do. A lot of fun.
Do you think that you'll slow down when it comes to improving or going to the next step in your quilting journey?
I don't know if I'll slow down. I don't know. At this point, I have too much fabric to slow down. There's too much fabric, not enough time.
But what about your process? Has over time, the 11 years, the way you make a quilt, has that changed?
Yes, I think I can plan better. I do have more options. And
Mm,
that's really key for me. I can do quilt as you go very easily, making the strips, um, and doing cover strips. That's a lot of fun. I do when I look at a quilt and I know I'm going to make it, I have a lot of options. Oh, I have a lot of options in finishing them also. So I don't see me using a long armor in the future. That's for
okay.
sure.
Well, I think it's kind of exciting that one, you've taken time to learn since that first introduction, that forced introduction into the quilting world.
Yeah, sort of
Eh,
like that. Yes.
yeah, and now so many are enjoying your quilts, family members, friends, co-workers, the community at large, right? And people around the world.
Yes.
Um, when you make a quilt now, you just said that you have a lot of options, not only with the quilting patterns and different techniques with making the quilt top, but now you have this creative freedom in the quilting of it. Do you get excited about the creative freedom you have now to quilt?
Yes, I surely do. And I think too, I still get on YouTube and see what options are out there, even Pinterest. I like to
Right.
see what people are doing, and
Now,
they're
I
like, you can
remember
do
in one
that.
of our previous conversations, you said that you get inspiration from being in a quilting community, and that's an
Yes,
important part for you.
that is an important part. I love being connected with people that have this hobby and love it, love what they're doing. I just love to see the creativity.
Something else that I wanted to know was that, if someone's new to it, they're thinking about learning free motion or feathers or rulers. What would you say to someone who is new, who says, "Oh, I don't know if I can do it," or "I don't have the time"? How did you make the time to do it while working?
Well, it was just something I really wanted to do. I was driven, I think, to do it. But my advice to somebody that maybe isn't sure if they want to do it or they aren't sure they can, start at the beginning. Set up your machine for success. You have that class that's available, and that is so important. Being able to set your machine up, knowing what you're expecting your machine to do. So I think that's critical. If your machine has the option to do free motion, then it's just taking the time to learn.
Taking the time to learn. Now, speaking of machines and setting up your machine, I don't know if you've had several types of machines. Have you had different experiences with machines? Does the machine matter for you on what your quilting experience is like?
Yes, I have a machine that was my mom's from 1953. It's a featherweight. It does straight stitch, so it wasn't an option. Um, I don't have even a walking foot for that machine. So just straight stitch. So I wasn't doing that unless I'm doing piecing. So that was one thing. And I still use it for piecing if I go to the quilt guild or go to somewhere where I'm going to be sewing something. I still have that to do piecing. But the machine has to be able to drop the feed. So there are some things that your machine is going to need to do in order for you to be able to do free motion quilting.
Hmm. So then, I guess if someone says, one, I'm interested in it, and you're saying start from the beginning, Start with machine setup. Do they need to consider the type of machine that they have so that they can have success in machine quilting?
Yes, yes. You have to be able, your machine has to be able to do certain things. So I have a few different machines, and definitely my Janome I use for the free motion and walking foot and ruler work, but not the other ones. So
So then what made you decide? And because when you started, you didn't have a machine that you said, "Oh, I'm going to quilt." It was, "Hey, I'm going to do this." I sent my quilt to the long armor, but now I want to do it myself. What was the transition between when you your other machines and when you went to the Genome?
I got the Janome because I knew I wanted to buy myself something to retire with. So it has options to do the free motion, the ruler work. So you have the certain foot you have to use, and it has capability. And I have no problem setting up my machine for what I'm going to be doing.
Okay.
But the other machines, you have to know what your machine is capable of doing.
That is such a good point because if it's not capable and we're trying to make it do something and we
Right,
think, why isn't it working? It's because the machine wasn't made for that. And then sometimes quilters blame themselves. They think that they can't learn, but really it's just not the machine for the task at hand.
correct. It is
That-
correct. I think it's, you might want to shop and see what it is the machine that you're expecting it to do. You know, depends on what you want to accomplish.
That's such a good point. And especially if it's something that becomes an integral part of your life, whether you're making quilts for family, for friends, or community uh, um, situations in a group, you don't want to have frustration because every time you sit at your machine, you're wondering if it's going to work, right?
Correct. Right. You do all that you can to set it up correctly. And as you can see from some of the work that I've practiced with, once the machine is doing what it needs to do, I'm able to learn and I don't have that stress of the machine. So,
Whew. Isn't that a relief, right?
yes, absolutely. That's why I said if you don't know how to set it up, start there.
Start there.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a couple more questions for you. What helped you gain more confidence and feel like, yeah, I can learn this and I can do it? Because some of us have this mental conversation about, I can't.
Yeah. Well, I think I gained the confidence in the class, being able to share with you what I was learning in your class. That gave me the confidence to go to the next step. Each step was just added on top of the other.
Mhm.
So, and I think just as you go along your way, you're learning, you're realizing what you are able to do.
Okay, and I think from the time that we've been together in several classes and here on Quilt Conversations Live and other times that we've talked, you mentioned that you start and finish a quilt before you go to the next one. How does that type of focus help you?
I hear a lot of quilters say they have stacks of quilt tops, and I'm like, oh no, I can't. I can't. I have to get mine done. I have to finish it. And I think just for myself, I don't want to have a lot of quilt tops just hanging out, stacked up. I want to be able to accomplish getting them done.
Do you
So,
think that that has impacted your confidence because you have finished the quilts? You don't have unfinished projects hanging around?
right, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
Before I can start the next project, I'm like, We got to get this done. And not that I don't want to start another project, because I do. I'm excited to go to the next project, but I have to discipline myself. I got to get this done. So,
Wow. Well, I think that says a lot for your focus, and it also, I think, has impacted your ability to learn free motion and ruler quilting and multiple rulers and feathers so quickly because you're so focused and that you will finish the quilt top. If I'm gonna ask you this question, do you think as someone who hasn't decided to take the steps, practice, that when it comes time to finishing the quilt, because they lack the confidence, it becomes a part of another pile?
could very well. Could very well. But I think it's just the determination to get it done. Getting the quilts done to me motivates me to keep going. You know,
Okay.
yeah,
Because once it's done, and then you can get to the next
I can
project
get to
that
the
you want to
next
do.
project. Yes, that's right.
What about those who just say, I can't do it, I can't do it, and they want to give up? What would you say to them?
I think you just need to practice. Get beyond that. I can't. Change your mind to I can and I will. I am going to succeed in this. I can do it. You know, I remember starting out with ruler quilting and ruler work, trying to hold the ruler and the quilt, and nothing was going. It was like driving a car when you need to get all hands on deck in the right motion and you're going in the right speed. And, it's just practice, is really what it is.
Okay,
Don't
okay,
give up.
that's a good analogy. When we're first learning how to use a car, and we have to watch the traffic, watch the pedestrians, check the speed, all these things that we're doing all at once. It's hard in the beginning, but if we keep practicing.
Right.
Anything else you'd like to share with us that you brought to show? Because
I
quilters
did.
love to see quilts.
All right. Well, the
And
reason,
hopefully you have one that is like your favorite of all time. I hope you have one of those.
okay. Well, I have to tell you, I love this one. This was a class that we did.
Ooh, I
Okay.
remember that one. Yeah.
I wanted to implement anything I could in this. So here's my rollers, and you can see I've got my roller work all through this.
Wow. And your
Or
feathers. Oh, there's the clamshell.
the clam shells. I had to do those rollers. See,
Beautiful.
I love it. So this quilt actually is not only free motion, it's ruler work and walking foot. And here is the X, the big walking foot in here.
Okay.
But this just was one of my favorite. And I'll show you some
And
of
the
the other
feathers look
colors.
fantastic. Beautiful.
And I made the feathers to fit these boxes.
Yes, it looks wonderful. Now, some would say that you were brave to use contrasting thread, that white thread on blue and red. Were you nervous about that?
I was at first, yes. Actually, that's a really good point. Uh, because I had a lot of the white,
Yes.
I wanted to carry that through to my diamonds and do the feathers.
I
That
think it helps it stand out. I love it.
Yes.
I
And
think
I
that's
think
just another sign of your confidence level that you're
absolutely, absolutely. There was a time when I wanted to do the quoting, I wanted to practice, but I want to make sure all my threads were hidden so it didn't really stand out.
mm.
But on this one, I'm like, oh no, we're going for it. I'm going to have it. Why not? I had so much fun with the feathers. I mean, I love the colors in this quilt.
It came out lovely. Is there a way to see more of it? Could you stand maybe or?
Let me see if we could do that.
Oh, wow. So lovely. What a great accomplishment. You have walking foot quilting, you have ruler quilting of different kinds, you have free motion, all these techniques that you've taken time to learn and practice.
And I think each one of these too, this was going to be another practice, learning how
Oh,
to do these clamshells. That was a little practice, you know. So for me, a lot of it, getting a new ruler, getting a new design, it's an opportunity to practice. Let's
yes.
practice on a new quilt. And then of course we have the a day away quilt. Took a couple months to accomplish this year. I'll stand up for this one.
Okay.
And this is ruler work.
How is this different from quilting the previous one?
Uh, this one I did stabilization. I stabilized this first, and that made a big difference. And this is a large quilt. This is very large.
Yes, it is wavy lines going in multiple directions.
The designs are beautiful, and being able to work in one section at a time to me was very, very important.
And the stabilizing really help with that on a domestic machine.
Yes.
What are you most proud of with this particular quilt? Because it had
Getting
a
it
lot of
accomplished.
challenges.
Well, one of the first things was, remember when we started the class, and we quickly realized that we were going to be trimming our pieces into different shapes, and it really opened up my eyes to thinking about that for other quilts,
Ah,
coming up with different designs. Like, why not, if you have a some scrap pieces you put together, why not cut a curve in it? Why not fit it into another section? So I have that in my mind to work on. But that was a
okay.
big challenge at first. We're like cutting what we just did. And who wants to cut into their quilt? But that was really a piece of work. That was quite an accomplishment. There was a lot of time involved in putting each section together, learning how to do it, and then being able to do all the quilting. It was a great accomplishment for me.
You've learned many techniques, many different ways of looking at a quilt. Why is it important, say for someone who doesn't take classes or doesn't go to some kind of educational event, whether it's in person or virtual, why do you sign up for classes?
I think it's an opportunity to learn again, learn more. And like I said, I think I feel like a student of the trade. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to the point where I think I've accomplished it all or learned enough. I really don't, because it's a wonderful hobby, and to me, right now, there's no end to learning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
I'm
end to
excited about
learning.
the next thing. So new rulers, new class, new uh, community in the class. I love that, and inspiring each other. I think it's great.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. When I think about, say, the day away mystery as an example, One, you had three different teachers with different ways of teaching, different tips and techniques that they shared. And sometimes, even as an instructor or teacher, we all have our own way of piecing or sewing or something. And then someone says, well, how about try it like this? And you think, wow, yeah,
I mean, right?
let me do it that
Absolutely.
way.
Hmm.
What's your thought about if someone says, well, I don't need a basic piecing class, I know how to piece? Would that be something that you would say, well, maybe I can learn something new that I didn't know
Right.
before?
Right. Yeah, and especially we're using different templates, cutting them different, fitting them together. I mean, design work is just unbelievable, and it's just great. Learning something new. I think we all have the potential to learn.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research on another project, and one of the things that came up in this research was about a question: Am I open? Am I open to new opportunities? Am I open to learn something new? Am I open to think that one, I don't know everything, and anyone can teach me something? You think that's important to have that kind of
Absolutely,
mindset when it comes to taking classes?
absolutely. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think if we're not ready to learn and we think we've hit our limit, that's pretty much it. You're going to keep making the same thing that you've been making. But to me, I'm not seeing a limit to what I'm able to do so far. And I'm
Mm,
still
mm,
learning how to put things together different, using different designs, blending some of the templates and some of the free motion quilting. That to me, every quilt that comes along, I'm like, well, what am I going to do this time? Am I going to do walking foot, ruler work? How are we going to implement all that? And just to me, it's exciting. And I love it when I get an idea and I'm like, oh, that's super. And a lot of that comes with laying out the plexiglass and just trying to connect it together.
when we're first learning, we're so concentrated on learning the technique. You are now at a point where you have learned how to set up your machine. You know the techniques of ruler quilting and free motion. Now you're in the design phase. And this
Right.
is where your excitement is. It's like, where can I add a beautiful design? How do you balance putting something new, whether it's a new ruler or a new design, with what you know inside of a quilt?
Yeah, I think being able to just try it, just try it. I mean, to like I said, for me, a lot of times another quilt is an opportunity to learn more. It's an opportunity to practice. I'm open to different designs, open to different rulers. I love seeing other people's work. No, I can do that. I'm able to do that. I do tend to do more loosely quilted quilting. I'm not real one to do real tight work.
Mm-hmm.
I know just in my past experience, I like it more loose. And so that's kind of what I tend to go to is the designs that are going to fit how I like to do them in the quilt.
Okay.
And so I was going to look for an opportunity to do a new design, a new way of putting it together. And I love to blend the different methods of quilting.
Mm.
So that works for me.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. So you continue to hone your skill in every area, whether it's walking foot rulers or free motion,
Right?
when you incorporate them in one quilt. And it also sounds to me like, because you have the confidence of the machine set up, confidence that this particular machine works and is designed for the techniques you want to use in your quilts. And because you've put in the practice, if you bring something new in, it's not as intimidating because you have all this other stuff
right.
worked out.
And it's taken time.
It's taking time. How much time?
It's taken a couple years
A couple
for
years.
me from the very beginning to where I'm at now. I think it's been about 2 years,
Yeah, and
maybe.
that's actually a short time, but you are focused. You're not doing other things. You're focused on that.
Right. That
But I
is
think
correct.
that's good for quilters to know that building that kind of foundation that builds your confidence and trust in yourself, trust in the machine takes concerted effort and it takes time. But is it worth
Right.
it?
Absolutely. Absolutely worth it. And I think when I first decided I was going to do this, I thought, why, we invest in things that really aren't lasting or teaching us, well, why not start investing in what I really want to do? If I wanted to make quilts, I'm going to start investing in how to learn how to do them. And that takes time. So not only are you investing money in the class, you're investing money in your fabric. Take the time to learn how to do it. And I decided I was going to invest in what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be better at what I was doing. So there's no long armor here, no long armor, and there won't be. So I'm going to keep learning, and I'm going to keep practicing, and I'm going to keep seeing new ideas, and I'm going to keep going.
Fantastic. This is a perfect ending. I just love that you said that it's investing in ourselves,
Yes,
things that are going to reproduce over time. It's going to multiply just because you decided, yes, I'm going to invest in my skills, I'm going to invest my time. It's not wasted effort and not a wasted investment. Very
right,
good. Yeah, I love that. That is so true because we can, yeah, send things to a long armor, but it's not necessarily going to increase my skill to do so. It might solve this very specific thing that I need for that quilt.
right,
And that's all well and good, but I love that you say, I want to improve my skills. I want to be the best that I can be.
right.
Yeah.
And like I
Awesome.
said, even if it's a scrap quilt that I'm putting together, which I love scrap quilts. I can't help it. I think just from when I think of a quilt, even years ago when I thought of a quilt, to me it was scrap. And I think that comes from, just seeing how people are putting together quilts and things and what they're putting them together with. And so each quilt for me is an opportunity to learn how I want to quilt that. How is it going to be the best fit for me and what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to give it as a gift for sure, probably. So
Well, thank you so much, Jacqueline. It's been fun to chat with you about your quilting journey and your learning journey. You are truly an inspiration. And thank you for not only just finding me on YouTube, but taking the next step and helping yourself learn more about free motion and machine quilting in general.
thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Well, what do you ladies think? Amazing story, right? Jacqueline's persistence to focus on what she wanted to learn because she enjoyed quilting. Her daughter in law introduced it to her. She realized once she did that first quilt how much she loved it. Then she said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to machine quilt and finish my quilts. So she started watching videos on YouTube and yay, she found me. Jacqueline, it's been such a pleasure to hear your story and to be inspired by you. a lot of ladies in the comments are definitely inspired. They want to take the next step. And ladies, that's just the beginning of Jacqueline's story through the video. There's also on the Living Water Quilter website, you can go to machinequilting.live. There are two things that you can continue to learn about Jacqueline through a blog post and a student spotlight. You can see photos of her quilts. Go by, take a look, read the blog post, see the student spotlight. There's some questions on there that she answered in the student spotlight that she didn't share here in the video interview. And I appreciate your patience with the early tech challenges. Every single time we come live, let me tell you, whether you see it or not, I always have some kind of tech challenge. My streaming software was stalling. So that's why the video wasn't playing, and I had to do a quick fix, and thankfully it was fixed. So I appreciate you staying. I hope it did not influence your experience with listening to Jacqueline's story and learning more about her. I'm so thankful that she found me, that she's in the Quilt Conversations live community, that she is a part of now our quilting journey, right? Anytime we're inspired by another quilter, they become a part of our quilting journey. Well, here's Bonita's coming in late. No worries. If you're just joining us, you can come back and watch the replay. Fantastic, Bonita. We're glad you're here. And I want to say thank you to, I think Catherine is brand new. She joined us today. Welcome, Catherine. And I'm so glad that you are back, Deanna. You have been missed. Now, what lessons did you learn from Jacqueline's story? One, building skills takes time, right? We don't want to chase techniques. You might be on one part of your journey and you're building that skill. And soon you'll be ready to build with a new skill. One skill at a time, right? What other lesson did you learn? I learned, which I always preach, and I had to do it myself, is practice. I always practice. Someone commented, I think it was Miss Hunter, practice, practice, practice in the comments. What about lesson number 3? At least I saw this lesson, is that as I learned different skills, and Jacqueline shared that, she realized now that she has more choices. She has more options. And now the machine quilting is more fun. She's wondering, what can I do now? What's next? What can I learn? What can I practice? What can I put inside this quilt? I love that kind of excitement, don't you? And someone said, this is so true. There's so much wisdom being shared. It is absolutely true. And thank you, Jacqueline, for that. What else? Let's see. Comments. Oh, great video work. Thank you, Jacqueline. I appreciate that. Lori says, a lesson is to know how to set up your machine. That is so true. Now, you're probably wondering about your own journey. I put together a little survey, to help you answer just 10 simple questions to find out maybe where you are. What's next for you? What's the next step? It may be the next step tomorrow, or the next step next month, or the next step next I don't know, year, who knows. But Lori's going to put a link in the chat, and I'll put it on Facebook, because Lori's on YouTube. Let me put it on Facebook, where you can take a survey and find out. It's just 10 questions, simple questions, and it's a multiple choice. You read the question, you pick which one applies to you, then you go to the next question. Let's see. All right, where's that? Oh, there it is. All right, let me put it on Facebook. Copy. All right, that just went to Facebook. Now, also, I want to share with you, because we won't be together again until July. Before then, I'm going to be at a event where it's a virtual event. It's called Patchwork Power. So I wanted to share that news with you. If you've been following me on social media or my website, you may have seen it. And Color Burst, this quilt is inspired by the technique I'm going to share, and it's called improv ruler quilting. Everything in this quilt was quilted with the stitch line ruler with no marking. Improv quilting. It's quilting as you go, meaning you have a design in mind, you start quilting it, and you don't know how it's going to turn out, but you're having fun with it. And the way you can do improv ruler quilting is with building those basic skills, right? Learning how to set up your machine. 2, learning how to use an acrylic ruler. I'm going to share some simple techniques that anyone can follow, no matter what level you are. We're going to do designs like this. This is called a one-line structure of improv, where we take just one line and we build off of that one line. That's part of the stitch line ruler. The next part is the wavy side of the stitch line ruler. This is also improv, using wavy line structures to build the base of the improv and then quilting the rest any way we want. So if you want to come to that, it's an amazing virtual event. It's being put on by CT Publishing. It's called Patchwork Power. I'm going to give a 1-hour presentation. It's July 16th. If you want to join, don't forget to use the discount code. There's a discount code and it's PP26. Let me put it in the chat for everyone. I think Lori's going to put a link. That's what we'll do. I'll put a link in the chat so that you can actually go straight there. Copy. I'll do it on Facebook. I think Lori already put it in the YouTube. You'll get $20 off when you use this link. If you forget and you don't use that link, then you want to put in this code at checkout. PP26. Yeah, PP26. Geraldine. 26 Geraldine. I think that's all it is. Let me just double check. Checking on my phone real quick. Yes, PP26 Geraldine. All right, I'll put that in the chat now. So I wanted to share that with you. And then also, if you didn't know, if you're not following me on YouTube, follow and get the notifications. When you get the notification, you're going to be notified that I've started a new Saturday series. The first, second, and third Saturday, I'm live in Studio B. The video behind me is Studio B. I go live at 7 p.m. This is a chance for me to have dedicated quilting time with you for 30 minutes to an hour, just depends on what's happening. I will come live and I will be quilting a project, and you and I are just going to have a casual conversation. It's not teaching or anything like that. I'll mention different things that I'm doing. And right now I'm working on this quilt that you see in the video. It's another fabric panel, and it's being quilted with improv ruler quilting. So right now I'm on this journey to expand what it means for improv ruler quilting with an acrylic ruler specifically. And I'm focused on that mainly because, yes, I'm teaching it next month. And usually when I'm teaching something, I like to revisit it and just make sure I know, what I'm talking about, because that's the best teacher, right? Experience and the best way to share. So it's Studio B Live. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel only, not on Facebook. So I'm working on this project right now. Again, using the stitch line ruler, multiple techniques that I've been working on. And when you come, this is what you'll see. I'll be in the studio. I have 2 cameras. One where you'll see a close-up thanks to one lady that asked. The first time I went live, it was just an impromptu moment. I said, well, I'm going to go live in the studio. Let's see what happens. See if anybody shows up. And someone did. And they said, well, I want to see what you're doing. And initially, I wasn't going to do it. But then in hindsight, I said, okay, I'll set up a second camera. So now we have a close-up of what I'm quilting. And we just have, fun chatting and talking about what I'm up to. So that's basically the news until we get together next time. Ladies, don't forget, take the survey. See what is the next step for you. Do you want to know how to set up your machine for quilting? Do you want to try ruler quilting? Are you ready for free motion? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you've been to that live session on Saturday, and so has Lori. Lori is usually there. And I'll be there tomorrow, 7 p.m., right here on YouTube. Again, Jacqueline, congratulations. Everybody go read her blog post, her spotlight. What an amazing and inspiring conversation. And guess what, ladies? I have more interviews coming. So next month, we're going to have another featured quilter here from our community. I'm not going to say who she is, but come back and be surprised and learn about her journey and be inspired by her. All right, ladies, thank you so much for hanging around and staying a little bit later. Let me know if I missed any questions in the chat before I sign off. Yes, thank you, Jacqueline. Yes, and Lori reminded we meet on the third Friday, if you're new, third Friday of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the next one is July 17th. It's the day after the Patchwork Power. And by the way, with the Patchwork Power, it's an amazing virtual event, first of all. It has 10 instructors. So for this one entry fee, you get all 10 instructors, and each instructor teaches for 1 hour. If you've never been to any of their events, I'm telling you, it's worth it. I went to one in April, and I went to one last summer. And there's replays. You have unlimited access to the replay of every instructor. And every instructor gives some kind of bonus content, some kind of freebie, some kind of discount. So it's definitely worth. You remember what Jacqueline said about wanting to learn, wanting to get better, wanting to improve. And that's happening through education and not thinking that we know it all and that we have room to grow, that we're open. So just my encouragement to go take a look. I think I'm the only one that is teaching machine quilting. Yeah, everyone else is teaching techniques about piecing, far as I understand it. So it's going to be a very interesting virtual event, Patchwork Power. Jacqueline says, thank you to everyone. Yay. All right, ladies, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribe. If you're not a follower on Facebook, follow on Facebook. On both, make sure you hit the notification bell to make sure both platforms send you updates when there's new videos, when there's live streams, and give it a thumbs up and give it a heart on Facebook. Thank you, ladies. I'll see you next time.